Hello, welcome to my spiritual cinema review. I am KALYN. I've been a teacher of spirituality for like 2 decades. One of my favorite things is to help people raise their frequency and improve their lives. But the other one of my favorite things is, well, my parrots, but watching stories. I love stories, TV shows, movies, and finding the spiritual elements that I find in them. So one of the shows that's really caught my attention was The Haunting of Bly Manor and The Haunting of Hill House. And that kind of, then we found out that the creator, Mike Flanning, also did Midnight Mass. We watched that. He also did House of Usher, which we're watching now, and Midnight Club, and we also watched that. Now, frankly, it's been a little while since I watched Midnight Club, so I can't speak to it as well. But The Haunting of Hill House, but mostly The Haunting of Bly Manor, are the ones that really stood out to me the most. The thing about The Haunting of Bly Manor was that it encompassed some, to me, deeply significant spiritual truths. Now, one more quick thing I haven't seen in doing my research. I was like, oh, look at this. Gerald's Game, Ouija, Origin of Evil, and Before I Awake. Those are also Mike Flanning's. And so now I'm like, oh, I've got 3 more to watch. Because the title, Ouija, Origin of Evil, I was like, oh, I don't like just sort of like Friday the 13th horror. I really like when they have something else going on. And certainly the others have something going on. And like I said, The Haunting of Bly Manor, I think, is my favorite. Now, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, and if you have, if you rewatch it, this might shift how you see it, and you might have a different level of perceiving it and a different level of appreciation for it. I think that in my observation and from my watching the Mike Flanning movies that I've seen, or series, maybe they're mini-series, his forte seems to be dead people and the hauntings. And I say this because with the haunting, particularly of Bly Manor, one of the things that happens, spoiler alert, is that we've got this character who had something tragic happen. And the truth is, the way he says it in the movie through his characters is, she's like this black hole pulling everyone, like magnetizing everyone into her. And so when she catches them, kind of thing, and she doesn't even know she's doing it consciously because she's dead, what happens is she pulls them into her world. So the thing about this is, you might be like, what do you mean when she catches them and she's not even conscious of it because she's dead? Well, one of the beauties to the hauntings, The Haunting of Bly Manor and The Haunting of Hill House, is that I feel like it well represented and gave you a good taste of what it's like to have an emotional charge. We as people are multidimensional beings. This means that we have our aura, we have our energetic side, we have our bodies that are physical that we can touch, we have our emotions, and the emotions live in a body, and so that's another dimension of ours that helps us perceive life. We have a mental thinking capacity that's encompassed in a body of energy, and therefore it's another dimension. So just like your aura is encompassed, right? Your aura, it can go out more, but it's not, it's a body too. It has a basic parameter, right? Like it's not like you're just a cloud, that it has some shape. So when you die, you do not take your body, everyone knew that, your emotional body or your mental body with you. You're left with the energy, you're left with really your karma, those kinds of things, and you're left with something deeper. So you're left with the things that are not tools to help you have an in-body experience on Earth. So that means that if you have this deep emotional charge, it goes into your energy. And so your energy still has that, and that's a part of karma, but you don't have the ability to logically think it out and reason. So she sees someone and she doesn't stop and think, oh, this isn't my past and, you know, what's really bothering me. This is someone I don't even know. Like, she doesn't think that because she doesn't have that capacity. And so it just captured so incredibly what can bind us and keep us from moving on, kind of thing. And that's a little maybe oversimplified, but I think it gets across the point that the people who die and don't have that emotional tie, that emotional charge that is going to tether them to some part of life, even though they aren't really supposed to be in life anymore, you know, those things, like, we experience that while we're in body, but we do experience that when we're out of body. That's what a ghost is, right? That's why in anything you've seen, there's like this ghost, and, you know, we've encountered ghosts in our travels, kind of thing. It's going to be a person kind of thing, except, you know, without a body, right? Because they're past, but they're kind of doing the same thing over and over, generally speaking. It's not like they're writing a book, finishing it, and then writing the next book, right? It's not chronological because they're out of time. They're out of space and time. Instead, they're in an eddy. They're in a energetic eddy, and they keep experiencing the same thing. So, for example, there's supposed to be like a haunting in a lighthouse in St. Augustine or something, and they'll say like that they see this woman like walking across or going somewhere, doing something, and you'll hear about a childhood friend of the family's when I was a child said that she would hear her grandmother like putting away the silverware. So she'd hear the clank, clank of the silverware going into the silverware tray, because it's what she did in life and then it's what she did in death, kind of thing, right? So obviously that was a little bit of an emotional charge for her. Anyway, so it does a really good job of capturing that. And I think it gives you a really good sense that you want to focus on yourself and resolve the things that could otherwise catch you and turn you into, you know, a ghost that's stuck in an emotional eddy. When you have unresolved issues in this life, it is not like, just like your body that is going to go back to the earth and turn back into earth elements. It's not like those issues are going to go back into nothing. Some of that energy stays with you. And so you don't hear this very much, but within what we've been taught, karma is not the golden rule. It isn't what you do unto others. Karma is the energy in you. And actually Sadhguru, I love Sadhguru, he talks about karma a little differently than I do, but he talks about karma as being memory from past lifetimes, but it's not like the memory of being a worm. It's the memory of the energy you're working out. And so in this life, if you get stuck in an eddy, you can actually add to that karma, or the whole idea is to work on shifting that karma. As energy, karma isn't something like a balloon you can pop and it's broken. It's gone. It's not like that. It is something that you refine, and as you refine it and as you raise the frequency, it changes. So you really have a lot of raising to do. And that is true for each and every one of us in our lifetimes. So when you're stuck in, you could say in some karma, you know, you could be stuck and pull people into it, or certainly at least affect them. So this was one of my favorites, probably, you know, that I've just seen in a long time. I've watched the haunting, I think, of both of Bly Manor and of Hill House 2 times. We always let like a year or so go by, and then, you know, you can kind of watch it again and you don't remember everything, and it's kind of fun from that perspective. But very interesting. I think Mike Flanning, like I said, I think he gets really tapped into some spiritual elements, especially in those movies, and I really like that, you know, that sense of unresolved issues and how they haunt us, kind of thing. And so right now we're watching Fall of Usher, and I'm kind of waiting to see what happens. We're in 3 or 4 episodes, and it's not quite the same, and I'm kind of going, I think, I feel like we were doing better with haunted houses, but you never know. I'm totally enjoying them. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the next 3 Mike Flannigans. I hope that gives you some new eyes. I happen to be wearing my owl t-shirt. It's from one of our local sanctuaries. But I hope that gives you some new eyes. Like I said, that was the Haunting of Bly Manor. And if you enjoyed this, please give me one of these or subscribe. Like I said, I love and I'm all about helping my people that work with me to raise their frequency, improve their lives, and do things like manifest the business they want, manifest the relationship they want, manifest the life they want, shift their perception and feel differently. Sometimes within an hour, we shift our perception and take a problem and feel differently about it and get to feeling like it is totally doable. Why? Because we get in the flow. Down below, you can sign up for my newsletter and you can get a free course on how to get in the flow. So I won't explain it. But when you get in the flow, one of the things you leave behind are the eddies, those energetic eddies, as you raise your frequency. It's a wonderful, light, and good feeling process that is just life altering. Thanks for joining my yellow-naped Amazon, Lorenza, and I in this haunted Mike Flanning review.